Hello, everybody. I'm Jesse from Prezly. Thanks so much for joining our summer edition of a webinar, and it is really summer. So we're going to try and keep it short and sweet so everyone can join and hopefully go back to a little bit of a cooler place. To make sure that everybody can hear me well and has found the chat, please go into the chat and tell me where you're joining from, and maybe also what the current temperature at your place is. I think it is about 36 degrees Celsius here in Belgium. So really, really warm. So if you can share where you're joining from on the chat and what the temperature is, we can kind of see if some people are kind of lucky to be in some cooler temperatures. Kate, who's joining me from Prezly as well, it's at 36 in the UK as well, which I think is unusual. But there's more Belgium, 35, 36 degrees in Amsterdam. Ghent, it's warm everywhere, it seems. Jesus. So that's, yeah, not comforting, but at least we're all in the same situation. So good. We'll keep it short. We'll keep it between, in Mexico, it's really crazy rainy. That's different. Antwerp, city center, 38 degrees. Wow, that's crazy. But as mentioned, we'll keep it short and we'll go and dive in as well as soon as possible. Today, our real team is pitching the media, everything and that you all work in day out. We've been working on it in the Prezly product. Liverpool 19 degrees for some reason. I don't believe it. But anyway, that's good to hear. So moving on, I've got Kate here with me, who's going to talk a little bit about all the content work that we've did for here. She needs to unmute herself as well so she can start talking. She's going to talk a bit about a directory, or how do you call this? A resource that we've built with some free templates to pitch the media. So, Kate, take it away.
Yeah, Rose by any other name, Jesse, is still a pitch template library.
Exactly.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, so I'm Kate. You might recognize me from your inboxes. I think I've met some of you before, in which case, hello. Over from sunny tropical Cambridge. The houses here were not built for this heat, and it's a struggle. But that's what I'm here to talk about. So we recently launched this library of 200 media pitch templates. So this isn't to say like you need to use these. This is more as an inspirational resource for the sorts of very repetitive pitches you might need to send over and over again. So this is really all about helping you do those annoying little repetitive tasks a little bit faster. And basically the way we've organized it, you can find it on our website. If you go to the resources tab, it's just down here in the free media pitch templates area. And there are a series of articles linked here for different use cases, different industries as well. So for example, I'll go into the free food industry area. The way it's organized is if I'm looking at an industry series of templates. It's organized by different use cases. So maybe I'm announcing an event, maybe there's some new research coming out. And then from there, we're looking at recipient types. So for example, journalists, editors, influencers. For each one of these, we've also included a formal tone. There's like a pitch in the formal tone, and one in the casual tone, which might be more suitable for something like an influencer, which is what I'm going to do here. So these are super easy to use. They're literally just copy-paste templates, and you can use them hopefully in Prezly pitches. You can use them in your email as well, if you like. And all you do is literally just copy-paste the whole thing into Prezly, which I'm just going to very quickly show you now if my internet connection allows it. So I would paste the whole thing in here and just update the bits that are in square brackets to reflect my actual use case. As usual, if you want to personalize something like first name, you can do that by just typing a percentage sign and then hitting first name. And from here, you just clean everything up the way you want it, and you're pretty much ready to go, right? If you have a story that's related to the pitch, then we can attach that here as well. Something new that's rolled out, I think, last week is now if you attach a story, it will give you the full story as a default. Before, I used to just show you the introduction only, so just something to be aware of if you're used to using it. And yeah, so ready to go. But I think there's a slightly cooler way of doing this as well, which is sneakily what I actually wanted to talk to you about, which is if you get one of these templates, or really it could be a pitching template or any bit of content that you use a lot, that you find yourself use repetitively, what you can do is you can go to your settings in your account and you can add that as a snippet. I use snippets a lot. Snippets are basically templates. We called them snippets for some reason, and now no one can find them. So that's on us. In fact, I can't see the chat, but if you do use snippets, please say so. If you have no idea, if you've never heard about them before, let us know. But they're on a team basis. So if you make a new snippet in your account, anyone on your team can use it, which is super helpful. And they can support multimedia as well as text. So you can use this for example, pitch templates like this one. You can use it for galleries. You can use it to insert videos, boilerplates, disclaimers, product information sheets, anything you want, really. And that just means whenever you do something like create a pitch, for example, instead of having to go copy paste from somewhere else again and again, you type in snippet to insert something that you've already saved here. And you wait for my internet to load itself. There you go. Hit on the snippet that you want to use, and it will just insert it into the body of your email or of the editor, whatever you're using. And I think that's really neat. That saves me heaps of time. I hope it will save you heaps of time as well. And that's all I really wanted to show you. So I think, Jesse, it's back over to you.
Yeah, very good. I think those snippets are really interesting if you need a pitch like, let's say, 7 people or even 17 people, but you slightly want to make some changes to it. That's often the use case that we see works best. What's really nice is that you can also add other elements to it, like the first name. You can automatically pre-fill it but also your email signature can be pre-filled, and I think that is really interesting and something that you often do. Maybe that's a nice thing to add, that's often something that people do. You can actually add a side contact and have it rendered, if they're in here, of course, and have it rendered as an email signature as well. I can kind of pick it up and show you. And that's really an interesting way of kind of building out an email that looks exactly how it came from your mailbox, but at the same time, looks a little bit different. So let me get this in to the stage so I can show this as well. So there's a bunch of ways on how you can get to these pitches, right? As Kate showed, you can just go to pitches, create pitch, but you can also just go into the contact section, right? In the contact section itself, you can simply open up one of your contacts and then just create pitch to this specific contact directly from here. I think that is a pretty easy way, because you're kind of going through some of your contacts that you might want to kind of watch out to. You see all the details, and then you just create pitch directly from here. But another really nice way of using pitches is not necessarily in a way of kind of sending your first story, but as a way in following up. You could, for example, take a look at all the emails that you've sent to someone. For example, here, Kate sent this campaign to Pilar. I think this was last week of this introduction to the webinar. You can, of course, see the email itself directly from within here. You can see exactly what Kate kind of sent, whether this was a campaign or whether this was a pitch. But you can also make a follow-up pitch to this. What is really nice about doing this follow-up is that it will be pre-filled with the original pitch. So in essence, it will be the original pitch with all the details attached to it. And you can simply start adding the follow-up message or the reminder or whatever you want to do to that top section as well. So that is definitely a really powerful feature. If you've been kind of speaking with someone, they showed some engagement on your campaigns, but haven't really responded yet, you can kind of give them another nudge, bring them some more details without too much work. And it kind of builds on top of all the content that you've already shared. So from within that email thread, she can or he can just scroll down to see the full story, have all the access, have all the details nicely from within one place. And that is a way that is often used. For our agency customers that work for multiple clients, right? They have probably multiple sites within Prezly. whenever you do that, you can also attribute a specific pitch towards a specific site, towards a specific customer. And this is really important because then you bring all the work you do for that customer nicely in that one place. You attribute it nicely to the customer, allowing you to report on those things on a site level, on a customer base as well. Now, the last section, how you can go into a specific pitch or how it works, is actually from an email campaign. So in a lot of ways, what makes Prezly really powerful is that you can go from, let's say, a larger distribution of, let's say, a press release to 20, 30, 100 people. You could actually go in and let me find one of our sent pitches here so I can take a look at that and start using the report itself to start following up on a one-on-one basis. So in this case, let's say I've sent this to 9 people, like 9 of them opened it. I can actually see how many times they've opened it, open the contact profile over here, like look that email that was sent and send a follow-up based on that, right? So that's like another entry point in how you basically start with a bigger campaign. You see the engagement on that campaign, and based on that engagement, you start kind of pick and choosing and like personalized follow-ups to a few people left and right. So that is definitely an interesting way of how you've been kind of working. All right, I think we've covered most of the pitching work. There is a poll that I want to launch here, is that if you use snippets and it's launching, yes or no, because that's interesting. We're kind of debating as Kate said, to rename it internally. So it would be good if we can kind of get your answer on that. It's going to come in on the stage quite quickly. Here we go. Let me add it to the stage here. So if you use snippets before, say yes, no, here, oh, there are some. So that's good to see. It's not that it's completely invisible, but most people don't, right? So there's definitely some work that we've already done, and I'll kind of give you a sneak preview in a few minutes on how we're gonna make that more accessible, whether this is renaming or giving it a little bit of a better place, and that is something to be seen. So yeah, that is definitely on our to-do list. Anything else, Kate, that you wanted to mention on pitching specifically before we move into like the other things that we wanted to share?
Not specifically. I'm mostly just really like snippets are a really cool thing. It's just we hid them in a menu somewhere and we called them templates. I think if there was, for example, a way to even favorite that page for easier access, maybe that would be very convenient for everybody.
Yep, 100%. And I'll show you some of what we did. Before I go into that, there are some smaller updates that we did as well towards our standard themes. There is a new EU accessibility regulation that came into effect on the 28th of June, which kind of obligated or required sites to be accessible for people with visual impaired, right? They can't that or issues with that we kind of have that standards available for them as well, meaning that every image has a little bit of a caption. The structure of the text is really well, so text readers can automatically interpret. So we made some updates. These are behind the screen for most, but will make a big impact for people accessing those sites to make them conform. So you won't maybe notice that, but it is something that we've done and rolled out, I think 2 weeks ago, to make sure that we are compliant with that rule. And then let me share my screen again and bring this back. The last section that we wanted to show is that we've been hard at work the past, I would say, half year, since the beginning of the year, to work on a little bit of a refreshed way of working to Prezly, right? What is super important for people is your data is in Prezly, and you need to be able to get that data in an easy fashion. You need to get it out quickly, fast, and in a really powerful way. If you want to be able to filter on some people, you need to do that. You need to combine multiple filters, and you need to do that across different ways of working. So we've embarked on a quite large project the beginning of the year to revamp our grids, to revamp the look and feel, to revamp the structure of Prezly. And we're about to launch this in beta early next week. So this is very much a work that is coming. It looks something like this. Switching accounts so you all can see it. This is not the demo data. I need to get the product team space here. Here we go. So as you can see, that's the first thing that you'll notice is that the sidebar has been kind of updated. In essence, it has the same elements as you would see used to before, but there's a little bit more things in here. Something like snippets, it's easier accessible directly from the sidebar. Although it's slightly hidden, it's easily accessible. So one of the things that you'll see is that it was kind of refreshed. But the most changes are actually made how you work and interact with grids. Grids is what we call all the tables that you have in Prezly, all the details that you can see in Prezly. They are easily available in here. But what is really cool is that we've also added like a favorites bar on the left section of your navigation. So it's no longer just our navigation, it is your navigation more than ever. Because for every grid you see, almost every page you see, whether this is the client side, whether this is a grid that is filtered, whether everything you want can be nicely added to the sidebar by simply clicking this favorite section. On this favorite section, you just add it to your favorites. These are personally for you. Every team member in your account can have different kind of favorites, but all views are accessible, right? So how does this work? You just go to contacts and you use the filters to build out a specific selection of contacts. Of course, in most cases, it will be by selecting a combination of tags, right? And you can kind of drill down and find all the people that have those specific tags. You can save this as a view, which means that this is a predefined what we called segment in tags before. This is called view now. And this allows you to easily bring that data forward, save it as a view for someone specifically, like decide which view visibility you want to see. You'll even have the option to display these things as cards or as a table. You decide how you want to have this sorted. So you can really kind of fine tune those view basically on how you want. And what is more, it's not just for contacts. It can also be for stories. You can go ahead and say like, okay, give me all stories for a specific newsroom, and then bam, add it to my favorite because I mainly work for this specific customer. This is what I want to access really quickly. Some other things that we've improved is that the filters became slightly more powerful. So you have the ability to kind of say published at and basically filter on everything that was published this month, or every campaign that was sent this month, or every campaign that was sent on a specific date, right? So you have the ability to search for relative dates is what we call this. So this will always be up to date. Let's say you just want to see which are the campaigns that we send out today. You can just create a view, call it today's work. Just it's in your sidebar, you click it and you have the ability to see so. We're constantly working on what we call bringing more inspiring views forward, where we call most contacted people in the CMS, in the CRM, most engaged contacts that have high open and click rates, for example. And so we constantly people who've written most about you, where we kind of had the most coverage pieces and so on. So we kind of are adding more inspiring view in it to kind of give you an idea on how this would work. So what does this mean? To wrap up, more powerful grids, allowing you to completely customize the things that you see, have the ability to display things as cards in a slightly more visual way, save this as well. The things that you access often, add them to your favorites bar so you can easily find them back. And of course, a little bit of a refreshed design and a refreshed navigation here as well. All the rest remains, of course, Prezly as usual. Function-wise, you'll be able to kind of do all the things that you were previous to do. And as mentioned, this is going to go live, optionally live. So you'll be able to kind of select if you want this yes or no. As of next week, you'll be able to beta test this. And if you want, of course, switch back to the old look and feel. In the meantime, you'll be able to switch between both, so we can get your feedback, improve the grids, improve these features based on your feedback until we roll this out for everyone. Kate, did I forget about anything?
No, I would just maybe mention that Al, so our product guy, one of our product guys, has been trialing this with a few users this week already, just showing them around. And at first, it looks like a lot is different. but they've all loved it. Largely, I think it just really helps you personalize how you use Prezly. And you can do it on like just a user basis rather than making a change for the whole account, which is really nice.
Yes, absolutely. Also, we're looking for some more testers. So if you're keen on giving it a go, reach out to us through the support team or here in the chat as well. Leave your name and we'll kind of get the feedback and introduce you to Al. And he'll happily have a session with you, walking you through it, getting your feedback. And this is, of course, in the next couple of months, the goal to make sure that we kind of filter out and fix all the small issues that you'll come across while testing this before we roll it out to everyone. So if you're keen on that, do reach out. All right, I think that's it for this short webinar. We didn't want to take too much of your time, so you can kind of go back to your work or go back to any cooler basement location that you have available for you. Thanks so much for joining. As always, I guess Kate will follow up with an email that has this recording as well as all the details, right?
Yep.
Okay, good. Then I wish you all a pleasant rest of your day and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye everyone.